remember when I was 5 and you were 10, but you knew that I was shy, so you laughed and made me cry. I'm still waiting.
Hello?
Hello? What are you doing in my studio?
Your studio, is it?
Yes.
Right, so this is Neil's studio, and I've come along to have a little chat with you. I'm hoping
radio.
a nice little chat about how you're doing and also what your relationship is like at the moment with Neil.
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
Okay, so I'm just going to pick up on a few things, David, all right?
Emily's here as well. Are you listening?
Who's Emlyn?
Emlyn, here's my boy.
Oh, of course. Hello, Emlyn.
Yeah. I'm showing him the way of the world, so he might want to listen in on this one.
That's absolutely fine. You can listen in, yeah. So, okay, so you got some money out of Neil.
Oh, yes.
So you got £1,000 out of Neil.
Yes, one large for a suit.
Yes. You went into town and you came back with 2 small items, a tambourine and some ear defenders.
Yes.
Maybe worth £100 maximum. And then you came back with a very small amount of change. So I would suggest, this sounds like a story that I came across once. Shall I tell you about it? I think you've heard it.
I will listen to it, but I think I know where this is going. Are you suggesting I'm a thief?
No, I think you've been ripped off.
You're suggesting I was... No.
Ripped off, yes, David, have a listen. So there's a story called Pinocchio. And I know you've read it, and it's got a character in it that's a bit like you.
Yes, in what way?
Well, Pinocchio is a puppet, and he's a puppet that wants to be a real boy.
I'm not sure I much like this. Why is he like me?
Well, he's like you in lots of respects. So leaving on one side at the moment...
Well, you just said he's a puppet.
Yes, he's a puppet. And a
well,
puppet.
What else is he? Because he's nothing like me yet.
Well, he wants to be a real boy. And the other way that he's like you is that he gets some money out of his carer, out of his dad, the woodcutter, to go and buy some school books. And on the way to buy the school books, and he has pockets full of gold so that he can do this.
Oh, wow.
He gets stopped on the way by a fox and a cat. And they seem to be his friends. But what happens is actually they are not actually very nice. And then they rob him, and poor Pinocchio has got no money for the school books, and he was led astray by them. And then he comes back and he tries to lie his way through and fantasize his way through. But really, Pinocchio has been very, very silly. And I think it might be a bit like your story.
No, I quite simply paid £845 for a tambourine and some ear defenders. I'm absolutely delighted with my lot.
Well, I think you're wrong to be delighted because you have been taken advantage of. If this is true, if your story is true, then you have spent hundreds of pounds. And this,
yes,
you know, I would expect to pay 40, 50 quid on that maximum. And the ear defenders, they're the kind of things that you can pick up for very little money. £10, £20. So either...
Well, it was just a case of I paid what I thought. I had money burning a hole in my pocket. Danny DeVito cancelled on me, so I didn't need a suit anymore. So I just thought, you know what? I need a tambourine and some ear defenders. I'll give you this. And I just pulled out a wad and threw it on the table, and the rest is history.
Well, then you've been that was wrong because that was careless and you shouldn't have been getting the money out of Neil to start with. I think that's false pretences. You getting money out of Neil because you'd got locked into your fantasy world and you were living out your fantasy because really Danny DeVito has not had any communications with you. There was no need No, he hasn't.
Oh, he's a very good friend of mine.
He's not
We're making a film called Quadruplets.
No, this is part of your. This is all part of your fantasy world, your rich fantasy life.
All you need to do is have a look on the internet and you will see that Danny DeVito, Arnold Schwarzenegger and Eddie Murphy were to make a film called Triplets.
Yes, that's
the
right.
sequel to Twins.
Yeah.
But it never came into fruition. And so we're jumping straight onto Quadruplets.
Right.
Me, Danny, Eddie and Neil was in the frame, but he was just too feared up for it, so I ended up getting in touch with my best friend, Tim Vincent.
This is the made up bit. The made up bit is the bit where you've turned it from triplets into something else, into quadruplets. That's made up. So this is what I've told you before. You have got wrapped up in your own fantasy, your own lies. You've carried on believing them. And this time there's been a bad consequence because you've had some of Neil's money, I think, stolen from you.
There is no consequence for me.
No.
I have a tambourine and some air defenders more than I did a couple of days ago. I'm absolutely delighted.
Well, that's very childlike. That's very childlike and it's very irresponsible. And it's actually, when you put that together with how you're behaving with Neil, it's actually wrong. You're being very mean. And I can remember asking you to make an effort with Neil to be nice. And you're not being nice. You're calling him names.
Neil is to make me a licorice pellet, asparagus and parmesan bread and butter pudding.
No, it's
Yes.
not. Now, this is fantasy, and this is another odd thing you've started to do. When Neil's asked you what you're doing, to
Yes.
reply with stories about what you want Neil to do for you.
Oh, yes.
Yes, but this is not right. This is you being totally illogical and acting like a child again. That's what children do. They do things like that. They get wrapped up in fantasy and don't take responsibility for their own actions.
You know, he never did make me that bread and butter pudding.
Well, why should he make you a bread and butter pudding? Why should he? Why should Neil do that for you?
Maybe I was a little bit too forthcoming.
I think you were.
Perhaps I should have apologised about the money first, and then maybe he might have... Oh, even better, we could have made it together.
Yeah, I think you get a bit kind of brash, and you don't like backing down, do you?
No. What else have I done? Did I call Neil names?
You called Neil lots of names, none of which I laughed at. So you've called him something about cloth ears. And
Cloth ears, yes.
Something about duffel bag.
Duffel bag.
Yeah, that's not funny or nice. That's not nice. You can't call people things like that. You can't be insulting people, particularly Neil, who is he's your best friend. He looks out for you, cares for you.
I once called him Mufflehead.
Well, that was horrible. You should be pleased with that. That was nasty.
He didn't seem to be listening, so I thought, well, when you can't hear, maybe it was like a muffled sound. Maybe he has a muffled head.
No, David. How would you like it if I called you Mufflehead? Would you like that?
Yes.
Okay, David. You've got a Mufflehead. Do you like that?
Oh, yes.
You did like that.
Yes.
Well, then that also shows some childlikeness as well, that you can think that that's an okay thing.
I've got a tail head.
You've got a tail head. You've got a tail on your head.
Yes. I had two tails a little while ago.
You did, I know.
And then I worked them together into one big one.
Yeah, I know you did.
I amalgamated them.
I know you did. I'm not sure. I get the feeling we're moving around in circles here. I don't get a sense of having got very far with you here. So, go back to my story, my Pinocchio story.
Yeah.
So, Pinocchio really desperately wanted to be something he wasn't. He really wanted to be a real boy.
That's a shame.
Be somebody's son. And I sometimes wonder whether your behaviour is because you think you want to impress.
I certainly want to impress.
I know you do, but sometimes this becomes very extreme.
Well, luckily I'm impressive, so...
You are impressive.
It comes naturally to me.
Yeah, but you'd be even more impressive if you didn't fantasise so much and you didn't lie. So do you think you can kind of sort yourself out for me?
Yes. I'll certainly take on board what you've said.
Yeah.
And...
What are you going to do?
Well, I'm going to see if maybe Neil wants to put on an apron.
No.
And make some fennel croissants with me.
No. With you.
With me. Yes.
Oh, I see. So a little bit different.
Yes, and Emlyn can watch and find out how we make croissants in this quarter of the world.
Okay, all right, that's rather nice. I like that. And what about the money?
I'm going to try and work work it back.
What does that
Doesn't make
mean?
any
What are you
sense.
going to do?
I'm going to work it off.
Work it off. So what are you
Yeah.
going to do to work it off?
Oh,
You going, and it needs to be real.
maybe I could do some administrative stuff for Neil.
Yeah, okay. That shows willing. That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
I can whip him up a minestrone
That's very nice.
and a mulligatawny.
Okay, if these things are real, it's very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's very nice. And the name, can you stop calling him names?
I'll just call him Neil from now on.
That's nice. Okay. Anything you want to say to me while I'm here? While you've got the opportunity?
No, I'm glad you came in. Come again.
All right then, David.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We'll leave it at there then.
I will see you soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
Yes, I was singing Diana Ross when you came in.
You were. Do you want to sing it again to the people?